Well, we're out screwing around.
We are.
We wanted to show you what we found.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, actually, right now we're in Fillmore.
Right.
Fillmore, Utah. This used to be the Territorial State House.
Yes.
For the state of Deseret that later became the state of Utah.
Right.
But so it has this interest, and so we wanted to see the old Territorial State House and some stuff. But what we're really doing is we're going to see a waterfall.
We are a little farther from here.
A little further to the south.
We're halfway there.
Utah's Dixie,
Washington County.
Washington County, and it did something down there that it rarely does, and that's that it snowed to beat the band, and they got about a foot of snow. And they rarely get any snow at all, and they especially don't get a foot of snow. But when they get snow,
look out.
Everything floods, and the reservoir's over top, and things happen, and it turns on this waterfall, the Gunlock Waterfall.
Oh, that's so neat.
Because the river diverts out into the desert, and it comes crashing down these cliffs where it normally would never go. And I've always wanted to see that, and we said, we've always wanted to see that. Let's just go see that.
Let's go see it while it's running.
While it's running. The snow's going to melt here pretty fast.
It will.
And so anyway, check this out. We're just out screwing around. We wanted to show you guys the waterfall. Well, these waterfalls are something to see.
I have never seen them run before.
I haven't either. It's attracted a lot of people.
Obviously.
Yeah, you notice nobody's splashing around in the water.
It's a little bit cold.
It was cold. I mean, yesterday all this water was snow, so but that didn't stop anybody from climbing all over the thing. It's actually pretty dangerous. These cliffs bring out the stupid in people for some reason. Every year, about a dozen people fall to their deaths?
Yes, or get stuck and they have to be rescued.
While we were here, somebody fell into the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
I mean, good grief. But I don't know, people get brave when they're around cliffs and waterfalls and things.
That's right.
And of course, everybody wants to get a selfie.
Of course.
And that leads to kind of blatant stupidity, too, unfortunately.
Yes, they don't watch where they're walking.
Watch where you're backing up to. Well, we digress. What we came to point out is the beautiful waterfalls.
And the beautiful scenery.
And all these people enjoying the beautiful, beautiful waterfalls, which will be flowing for a few weeks until all the snow melts and the water levels calm down. And these things will go right back to the way they used to be, non-existent. And they'll be gone for years, and then suddenly they'll come back.
That's right.
Now this is really interesting. This is the Shem Dam.
I've also heard it called the Windsor.
The Windsor. It was called the Windsor while they were building it. It was actually built in the 1930s.
Wow.
As like a WPA project. It looks much older.
It looks medieval.
It does look medieval because it's a stone dam. Now it got washed out in the 2005 flood. And the Army Corps of Engineers or somebody, anyway, they've come in here and built the ends. They left the middle unrepaired, so it won't hold water anymore. Now, this is the original sluice. It used to feed water to irrigation, but also a smelter.
A smelter?
A really small smelter on the Indian reservation, and that's really what it was built for, was to power this smelter.
They've done a great job at stabilizing everything.
Yeah, it looks good to me. I wouldn't know a good job if I saw it. But anyway, it looks...
Hey, the water's in it.
It's working. This is cool. This is the old wagon road between Lavercan and Zion Canyon. It looks a little bit like the dam, but this is actually much, much, much older. This road was built around 1850.
Wow.
Wow. But they built an aqueduct and everything to feed the area there in Lavercan and Hurricane. Mm-hmm. Don't say hurricane.
It's not hurricane, it's
hurricane.
Zion Canyon is one of my favorites.
It's a beautiful place. We were here on Friday showing you guys the hotel that was built out of wood from the Lucin Cutoff. Now this is the new wagon road between Zion and Laverca. It's wider.
Gosh, it's 4 lanes. I remember when it was 2.
It was, and before that it was that little wagon road. But, well, everybody wants to come up to Zion. Oh, this is neat. This is Flying Monkey Mesa.
Yes.
And we did that funny show. If you haven't seen that, watch it. It's really funny. Flying Monkey Mesa. When the military used to shoot chimpanzees and even people off that cliff. Now, people have asked, how come you know so much about this? Well, I used to live down here.
Yes.
And we just barely sold this house.
We did.
Yeah, but I lived here about 20 years ago. And it was a wonderful, wonderful, and beautiful, beautiful place to live. This is Kayenta, Utah.
Yes, not Kayenta, Arizona.
No, this is the other one. Kayenta, Utah. It's part of Ivins, really. But it's this really neat community. It sort of looks like some of those communities in Arizona.
It does.
Yeah, but it's just an absolutely beautiful place. There's a lot more houses now. When I took these pictures were taken about 20 years ago, too. This is the center of the community. There's kind of a little art village at the very, very middle of the whole thing. And this is Terry Martin. And Terry Martin designed and built the whole thing over the last, almost 50 years. He's actually from Santa Barbara originally, and he used to drive between Santa Barbara and Salt Lake City, and, well, he fell in love with these cliffs and wanted to develop a community here. These are wind sculptures by Lyman Whitaker.
Those are nice.
And he's been building those here for about that same amount of time. You see them all over in all the art galleries all over the West, but he builds them right here at Kayenta, Lyman Whitaker. He was one of the very original people to move into this area when Terry Martin started it up. And this is Zatava.
Oh, it's a wonderful coffee shop. I love coming here.
It's beautiful. It was built by Dan Pettigrew, and I used to come over here and watch him build it and carve these doors and everything. It took him years and years to build it, and then once he got it done, he just kind of moved on.
Oh, dear.
But it's a really important part of the little art village here. There's different art galleries, Juniper Sky.
Yes, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, just really neat. Jewelry, paintings, glass, sculpture, all kinds of wonderful things here. Now, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Anything could be funner if you add a train into the mix.
That's right.
This is a train ride in St. George. It's not there at Kayenta, not far from there, but these guys have this great train ride in a city park. And they run it most of the time. We had heard about this, and I've been dying to see it. And there it is.
They have a lot of fun things for the kids to do while they're here.
Yeah, actually, it's a children's park. It's just fun things for kids to do. It's called Thunder Junction All Abilities Park.
Oh, my.
It's a dinosaur. And a volcano.
Isn't that cool?
The kids can go inside the volcano and explore. It's nice and cool in here on a hot summer day. And it's just all kinds of fun adventures for kids. What a grand idea. There's a kid now playing the xylophone.
That's right. I'm hammering out a tune.
Absolutely.
We'll be landing this spaceship.
Really neat. The train is a sort of recreation of the C.P. Huntington, which we saw at the Sacramento Railroad Museum. And it's a typical train ride. This is the exact same one they've got at Hogle Zoo in Salt Lake City. So you see this around, but it's just really, really cool that they've got this here. Well, on our way out of town, we want to stop back at Fillmore, where our little adventure began, to see the Territorial State House. It was funded by President Millard Fillmore, And subsequently, Congress stole all the money, so it never got finished. But this is what it was supposed to look like. It was designed by my great-great-grandfather, and I was really, really happy to see the plans on display inside with his signature.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that the funnest darn thing? 1851.
I'm glad I got to see the inside finally.
Yeah, me too. I've never even seen the outside, really. I've just driven by it a few times. Well, the waterfall didn't disappoint.
No, what?
It's like, holy cow, it's a huge waterfall.
It is.
I'd seen pictures of it, but the scale just doesn't quite translate. And you're standing there, and it's like, holy crap. I mean, this is like cascading down 200 feet down the cliffs and rocks and boulders. And
people out in the middle of it.
And people, how the heck did they even get out there without getting killed? But right in the middle of the waterfall, there's some rock sticking out with 3 people standing on it taking pictures.
Billy goat, I think.
Anyway, hopefully nobody gets killed out there because it looked really dangerous. But it was really neat. And we saw some other fun things, and we got to ride a train.
Yes.
And so that was all worthwhile.
It was.
And the All Abilities Park there in St. George.
That is just a lot of fun. Can't wait to take the granddaughter there.
But we were invited to an event in November, which we want to check out. But the local Model Railroad Club has an open house every November, and they take everybody around to see everybody's layout, to see what the progress is on about 10 different model railroads down there, or 6 different, 8, I don't know, but a number of. And
There's a few.
We did a show on one of those. That Proto 48. So there's actually some really neat model railroading going on down there in Washington County.
Right.
So we will be back.
Exactly.
As Schwarzenegger said.
Yes.
If you guys haven't been over to the channel, do pop over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. First of all, it makes you cool, and that's the most important part, but it helps us out because Google likes to see people subscribing to the channel. So here comes the subscribe button. Are you ready for it? Zoink! Right there.
Yes.
Says subscribe. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Tuesday with the Collector's Attic. We'll see ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.